They want us to think that we're an insignificant speck of dust, but let me tell you, we are so much more than dust in the wind.
At least 4 billion useless eaters will be eliminated by the year 2050.
I'm still waiting for somebody to show me gas pressure without a container.
I personally don't believe anything they say, right down to the God they claim they worship.
None of the math adds up.
You could stack up all their math books, all their science books, and even put all their degrees stacked up on top of that, and you still wouldn't be high enough to see the curvature.
This is exactly why grounding is so important.
We see too far.
We're just regular people who know we're being lied to. We're tired of it.
The bottom line is, there's only one choice left, and that's to dismantle this whole thing from the top down. Welcome to the PhoneBooth Podcast. Please keep your arms and legs inside the phone booth at all times. We are not responsible for any lost or stolen souls, destroyed realities, or blown minds. I'm Ted Theodore Logan. I'm here with my good friend Bill S. Preston Esquire.
What's up?
The man who taught us everything we know about time traveling, Rufus.
This is Rufus here from 2668. Greetings, my excellent friends.
And of course, the man who's excellent at taking souls but sucks at Twister, Death.
What up?
How's it going, dudes?
What's going on?
Guys?
What's going on?
All right, we are all here. So tonight we will not be having a guest. We are going to do kind of a get to know you episode where each of us just kind of tell a little bit about our story, and you get to hear how we came to where we are before we start moving on to things that interest us. And right off the bat, I just want to say that we are going to have guests on the show that we don't necessarily agree with. That doesn't mean that we're not going to listen to them and take them seriously. But we are going to try to talk to people from all different theories, all different walks of life, and just try to find something to agree on with everybody. So let's get this started, you guys.
Let's do it, man.
Who wants to go first?
Glad to be here.
I nominate Rufus.
Oh, shit.
It's okay.
Rufus.
I'm honored to go first here, guys.
My man.
You started all this.
Like I said, I'm Rufus. I'm here from the year 2668. My goal is for everyone to be excellent to each other, regardless of what your beliefs are. Now's the time for everyone to be united as opposed to divided like they want us to be.
Interesting things going on, to say the least, actually.
To say the very least.
So, what I don't want to say what's your first thing, but what started you from being a normal person who just went about their life and believed what was on TV to looking at things in some sort of different way? I know it's a long process to get from there to where we are now, but there's always like a first kind of spark, I guess. So
I mean, it's an extremely long process, and I think for some of us, I think we're just born with this sense. I can just feel it, that you're born with the sense that something's a little bit off, even from childhood, hearing about the globe in your classrooms, and some of us have it, some of us don't. So, I felt like things were off for a pretty long time, but, I never really did anything to look into it. I mean, when we were growing up, the internet just came about. So where you're getting your information is newspapers and the control of
and your parents.
Like, so much different.
Oh,
And your parents too. It's crazy how much technology has advanced. Just in, say, even 10 years ago, smartphones were just coming out, and now we can't even live our lives without them. Corporate world, or you have jobs, you have to be connected to everyone all the time.
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
First, because we wouldn't have gotten this information if it weren't for the internet. But at the same time, it kind of makes your life inconvenience and just always contactable and just working 24/7. So, both things It has good and it's bad, man. But going back to my story of, how I started figuring things out, it was honestly completely by chance. I met a friend who was from Eastern Europe. He was from Bulgaria. He lived under, a communist system.
Yeah.
And so he could see the inner workings of what was going on here in the United States. He moved over to the United States to get away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he saw all the things that they were doing over there and how relatable it was to what was going on over here.
Yeah.
Really?
The early stages.
Yeah, man. So, and him and I became really good friends, but, honestly, I didn't even know what I was getting into at that point. He literally was like, hey, you got to watch this movie with me. And
You have no clue what's going on.
You know how many lives are screwed up?
To Ohio. That's a whole nother story that I'll share with you at some point, but I was on my way to Ohio and he lived in Chicago and I stayed at his house just because it was a halfway point. I was driving late at night and he's like, dude, you got to watch this movie with me. And it was the movie Zeitgeist. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. I think it's great and the way how broad it is and it covers things from religion to the Federal Reserve. The big point in there was, the thing that shook me was the 9/11 and how all that shit went down and all the evidence that there was
Zeitgeist goes way back too, doesn't it?
I think it came out in like 2008, and when he showed it to me it was maybe like 2010. But for anyone who hasn't seen that documentary, especially if you're just getting into the truther movement, or you have friends that you want to show something that just kind of covers a wide range of subjects and they're probably not really ready for some of the heavier things like flat earth and whatnot. It's a great one to show people just to like open their eyes.
Off.
I've never seen that one.
You've never seen, dude, you got to watch it, man. It's got some great info on there and covers.
You were like 10 at that time though, so.
I was like a junior in high school.
He was in elementary school. But anyways, from there, I kept on, it piqued my curiosity, and the internet was just getting big at that point, and so you did have a lot of information. And at that point, I was literally like, I was interested in what was going on in the world, and I was visiting like CNN.com.
Yeah. Back then, that's when you had to like.
Let me try and figure this out.
Know and be aware of what's going on in this world, because you could see that things were kind of going south around there, and that was just about the time with like the 2008 financial crisis and the housing collapse then. And so it was pretty relatable at the time. Literally, like the next step I think for everyone is Alex Jones. I think I would listen to Alex Jones religiously for like 5 years straight.
Really?
I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever sat through an entire episode of anything he's ever done. Ever.
The InfoWars. Honestly, there was a lot of really cool and good information, and he's an entertaining character.
Yeah, like I've watched a lot of Greg Reese's videos, but I haven't seen much.
That's like the newer. This was the old raw.
Yeah.
I didn't ever watch him back then, really.
He'd go out, be hiding in the bushes and stuff,
Man, he's great at what he does.
Right.
But he just kind of leads you on these paths and stops a little short a lot of times of what the actual real topic is. There's subjects, topics that he won't touch regardless of who brings them up or how much validity is to it.
Right.
How true it is.
Kind of almost a baby to honestly, and he still lives and resides within the system. Big Trump supporter and everything, whether you like him or not,
I think he's, in a way he's kind of controlled, I believe.
I think so, man. I mean, there's if you've seen the videos on him and Bill Hicks, it raises a lot of questions.
Dude, Bill Hicks is dead, right?
There's a lot of coincidences on there, and they're very similar in their personality and mannerisms and looks and everything. So
right.
I understand that, a lot of people look the same, and the Matrix gets a little bored sometimes when they're creating their avatars. But, there's more that goes into it than just the look. So, I mean, that's another thing to probably look into. And then, from there, I was always, I stopped kind of researching into it as much, and I just started going along with the stuff that I knew, and I did my best to the close people that were around me, just kind of raise their awareness of the things that were going on, and I mainly focused around 9/11.
Yeah.
So
And then, I think it was around 2017. I don't know if that was the peak flat Earth or what exactly at that point, but someone brought it up to me, and I just remember saying, "Dude, honestly," and this is another thing that Alex Jones hammered into you. If you were listening to the show on a regular basis, he would point out that there are actors working to put out fake conspiracies to make the conspiracy
Right. Correct.
like whack jobs and to set them up, and then
Yes.
you can lose your credibility from talking about this stuff that's bullshit. So someone brought up the flat Earth to me, and I was honestly, at first, I was like, dude, that's the stupidest thing. I'm imagining around in outer space with all the other planets, and I'm just like, dude, they're just doing this shit to make truthers look bad, and there's
Right.
be anything to it. And I looked into it just very minimally. Of course, the first thing that came up was the fucking Flat Earth Society.
yeah.
Yeah, they love pushing that one.
Like the Earth is raising so fast, and that's where gravity comes from.
7.8 meters per second, bro. God, come on. That's how fast.
I was like, these guys are nuts.
That is the kind of shit that they put out, and that's the stuff that the government always mentions too when they talk about Flat Earth.
Yep.
Yeah, Flat Earth Society, yeah.
Member of the Flat Earth Society, or we don't have time for that
Yeah,
shit.
Obama threw it out like 6 times.
Nobody trusts the government, so naturally they're going to look directly into Flat Earth Society and see how stupid it is.
Yeah, I know.
You're just going to give up right there. They're like, okay, yep, this is misinfo, and I'm going to move on.
Yep.
That's why I love when we get the so Earth is the only flat planet.
Yeah, dude.
Literally,
Yeah.
dude, that meme is fucking gold. With all the planets and the square Earth right there.
Yeah, I know. I hate them for that.
Uses that meme, and they're like, "Oh, but what about this?"
Yeah.
It's like
That was very sassy there, Rufus. Oh, but what about
oh
this?
man, I love when they use that one. Cracks me up. And then the other one with the moon with the little like disc floating in the moon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the shadow.
Flat line shadow.
Which, by the way, I'm gonna nerd out for a second. Even if the Earth was a pancake floating in space, and it cast a shadow on the moon, that's not how a shadow would look on a sphere. A shadow on a sphere bends. That is not how it would look. So even their meme trying to make us look dumb makes them look dumb. So sorry.
Very
carry
nice.
on.
Still makes more
Very
sense
nice.
than the globe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, and then honestly, like the blessed thing that got me like more educated and knowing about it is like right before COVID went down, I decided I was going to give it another look real quick. Because honestly, like when you're a conspiracy theorist, or I like to call it like a truther or whatever.
Conspiracy analyzer is a good one too.
Coincidence noticer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, like I was getting to
Cut it out.
conspiracy noticer, coincidence noticer, whatever you want to call it. You kind of want to go through every single one though, and I'm still like that. When I hear something new, I want to back check everything and make sure it's legit, and then maybe I'll look into it a little bit more. So I wanted to be able to officially check it off my list because I kept on hearing it like come up out of the corner of my ear.
Yeah.
And that's what led me on to like Dubay and a couple other dudes like with and I was like, oh shit, maybe this isn't a secret for a couple months to just do deep dives.
Yeah.
Man, because I wasn't really looking for a job at that point. Let's be real.
Do you think that was just a coincidence?
But I wasn't really looking too hard for a new one. The world was about to end, so which I never really bought into that either. If you're gonna die, but
I got scared for a split second.
Did you?
I think we both because you just worry about your families and stuff like that, and when you have kids, you're
My wife was pregnant.
Too.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, I was trying to check off all the marks, and on the conspiracies, and this one, I was like, you know what, I just got to look a little bit more into it, and it took me almost about 2 years before I could officially like come out and be like, okay, I've gone over pretty much every question that I could think of and answered them all. And you know, I still might have a few questions left that come around, but I've answered enough to come to a solid conclusion that I can come out of the flat Earth closet and talk to people in my real life. And I made the same mistake as I did with 9/11.
What shape is the closet?
What was that?
What shape is the closet, Rufus?
It was dark in there, dude. I mean, Tom Cruise and R. Kelly were in there.
That's so good.
That was good. That was good.
Did you get peed on? Who peed on you? R. Kelly peed on you?
I don't know, either one of us.
That's fucked up.
But yeah, and at that point, you know, it was over for me. And one of the big things I wanted to do in my life is continue to work on different experiments and testable things that you could do in actual real life to try and, you know, find the full answer. But that's it, man. You know, and I'm always looking to learn. I'm always looking to educate myself, educate people around me, have, you know, good conversations with people regardless of what your beliefs are. And you know, at this point I'm wise enough and old enough that I can just have a nice conversation with people and not have to turn it into an argument. And I've got.
Do you feel that's easy to do on Twitter?
What was that?
Do you feel that's easy to do on Twitter? I mean, I do. I feel that, you know, most of our conversations are pretty nice and they go pretty smooth on Twitter.
Cordial. They're cordial. But I still also want to know, what was like the very first thing that you saw in Flat Earth that was like, oh my god, maybe this is legitimate in some way?
Whoa.
I mean, honestly, I ran the Tinos telegrams. Awesome. It's got a wealth of information. There's a lot of BS on there, but hey, man, going through that, some of it's a little mundane and not the most entertaining, you would say, but
Talk about 200 proofs.
200 proofs, dude. He's got so many videos out, and you know, I think I went through the shorter clips because that one's about 6 hours long.
Yeah, no, it's no joke for sure.
My own time frame and checking it out when I could. And then from that point went out and started working on like cross-checking everything, doing experiments in real life, out on lakes and whatnot, and taking the Earth curve calculator and cross-checking different things. The lighthouses is really a big one for me, man. I mean, lighthouses and how they wouldn't work on the flat Earth, or on the globe Earth. In most cases, and this is something that they've been using for, you know, hundreds of years, and works all the time out there for navigation. And
so basically the fact that we can see too far.
Oh, that's the number one, obviously. You can see too far, and then you think about it yourself. I've always thought, like, why can't you feel the spin on the Earth, you know? Why no one has ever seen. I go on an airplane, I never see it. You know, some people say you can see it from an airplane, but I've never been in one of those planes with the curved windows where it looks curved.
Some people say a lot of things, man.
You know, and just none of it really makes sense. And I'm sure over time.
Do you think it's a psychosis thing? Is it like we're looking for it before we see it, so then we just see it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's possible. The way they reverse engineered it too, you know, and in your brain. So, dude, I got friends who, like, I would bring it up with them, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's impossible. I've seen the curve. I've seen it."
Yeah, they automatically just come right with that.
It's well, your boy, it's crazy. Grass Tyson says that it's impossible. Okay, so
yeah, and he knows everything.
Yes, he does,
because everything they say is like contradicting each other. All these different scientists. Bill Nye, when I was a little kid, I fucking remember watching that exact video that you see all the time, where he's got that little boat on the over the blue piece of paper, and he said how you can absolutely prove that the Earth is a ball is because the boats go slowly over the curve, dude. And they're just feeding you garbage, man. And they didn't have those the cameras that they do now, and it's all unraveling in front of our eyes, and it's great to watch, to be honest.
Yes, it is.
Fast.
Yes, it is.
It's unraveling really fast.
I feel like we're all, our consciousness is coming together, and the truthers are putting out energy that's contagious.
Oh, dude, I totally think that there are it's most people who realize this shit now. They just don't know that everybody else feels that way. We just need to get together and talk. That's all.
Have a little kumbaya session.
Well, I think
everybody's
also kind of prime the pumps for everyone. And then now that
Right.
they realize the deception, they're like, holy shit, I just panicked thinking that now I feel like is possibly. You tell them about Flat Earth, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm on the fence, and I'm not fully sold on it, but there's a lot of shit going on. And they just called you a fucking retard.
Yeah, no, and with the NASA stuff coming out, that's a big deal, man. You cannot deny. I've seen people and they're like, oh no, it's not. I don't know about this flat Earth thing, but you gotta admit NASA looking roughly these days. The stuff they're putting. And they'll go on about it, and it's like, come on, man, you're there.
Just because NASA lies, just because NASA lies doesn't mean the Earth is flat. You're right, it doesn't. It's the compounded evidence that does. NASA lying just proves your government will lie to you.
Fucking flat.
You know what it does mean, though, is that whatever they've shown you isn't true.
Exactly.
And they're the only ones showing it.
But defend it.
So
why are they lying? I hear that question from celebrities or people on the fence all the time. Well, why would they lie? I don't give a shit why they lied. They're fucking lying, man. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter why they're lying.
they know.
They're lying. Maybe you can ask them if they finally admit it, them why they lied.
How
I
about
don't know,
this?
but
If you went to go to work tomorrow morning and you walked outside and your car was missing and somebody stole it, would you go, wait a minute, I don't know why they stole it, so I don't believe that it's stolen yet? You don't have to know why someone did something to know that it happened. They lied to
the
you.
Investigation.
You don't also have I don't know how to relate this to that, but you don't have to come up with a new story, or else your car's still sitting there. It's fucking gone.
Exactly.
Right.
You need to view a whole new story with all the answers before my car got stolen. It's stolen. I don't know. I don't know where it went. I don't know what my next car is going to be.
Cars are just gone.
Not fucking stolen. Honestly, dude, at this point, everyone can say at least slightly, the littlest bit, they don't trust the government, but people just don't put two and two together that NASA is the government, dude.
Yes, they
I
are.
know. Oh, that one kills me, man.
Dude, this government, poor man, they're just lying to us. And nation's out of control. And then 5 minutes later, they're like, but dude, we're going to the moon. We're going to probably go to Mars next, so there might be an escape route. Just saying.
How many times are they going to kick that man? That's a whole other ball game there.
But it's getting less and less frustrating, dude, because I have people who actually engage in the conversation without being a child about it.
Must be nice,
and
because
that's
I
what
don't.
it's all about.
Moving in the right direction, man. And honestly, the best about it is people hear about it, then I'm better, because I got a lot of people around me, and through work and others, and then troll me or make fun of me.
Really?
Just straight up put it around on them, and you're like, no, just so you know, it is flat. You can think whatever you want. I'll start hitting them with questions about the Earth, their model.
They don't
And
know
they
the
know
answers.
nothing about it.
Exactly.
And especially in real life.
All right, so why are you trying to argue with me? You don't even know anything about the model that you're so religiously backing up, and then you're going to come at me and tell me I'm an idiot? Well, I know way more about your model than you can even start to think about. So you better start studying for the next.
And don't they know that you could just fire him anyway?
So good.
Yeah, it's flat. It's flat.
Yeah.
It's flat. It's flat. It's flat.
help's hard to come by these days. So
This is true. Globy or not.
Exactly.
I just want to keep them in their place, and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right on.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk and introduce myself a little bit. And I'm really excited to see where this journey takes it.
Happy to have you aboard. I'm happy to be aboard.
I'm happy
Like
to
you,
be
Jeff.
here with you, Rufus.
But anyways, remind me at the end, I great story to close out of something that happened recently. And I wanted to tell you, but I wanted to save it for tonight. So it's pretty funny and ironic, and it's something that we were talking about just yesterday.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Oh, really? Nice. Okay.
Do tell.
Oh, he wants to tell at the end. So he's building
Oh,
up.
at the
Yeah, he's
end?
building up for that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anticipation.
So that's
He's
cool.
teasing
Bro.
us, Ted.
That's cool, bro.
That's why I said remind me. Put a pin in
I
it.
want to know what's up with Death
I do too. So Death,
because he's so
your turn.
mysterious.
He's
up,
like
guys?
he has so much mystique.
He does.
I do like to kind of play into that a little bit.
Death is so
That's
hot
fine.
right now.
He's got a
That's great.
Every time I say
No, man.
anything about you, I feel super emo. Like, oh, Death is awesome. I'm like, God damn it, that's like a high school emo girl.
I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely getting used to getting called Death all the time.
Yeah. Well,
Because we're talking every single day.
I mean, if I'm being honest, he's kind of the best character in the second movie. I'm just saying, he kind of makes it.
Oh yes, hands down.
There wouldn't be any second movie without him.
No.
This is true.
And then
This is
Rufus,
true.
I don't know why you were barely in the second movie. You played a black woman. I don't know what that's about. And then
Like I was saying, my theory, why they didn't put me in there is because they knew I wouldn't stand for all the bullshit and all the Masonic.
Yeah.
satanic,
I was just
where
gonna,
they live
you
in
know what I was
apartment
going to say.
33.
I think that's when he was quote unquote spiraling. According
according to
them.
mainstream.
Yeah,
George Carlin
yeah.
spiraled.
So he was
started actually talking about real shit. That's why.
exactly. So yeah, they had to just cut his part short because there was a lot of Masonic stuff going on in that second.
The
Bill
mountain
and Ted,
thing.
yeah.
They lived in apartment 33. All kinds
Yeah.
of stuff. But we picked characters. That's it. So I don't want to hear, oh, there's 33 in their movie. We told you. You didn't
Right.
even know. So zip it.
I don't know if you haven't seen it, check it out. But this was like how I met these guys and what attracted me to them.
Wait, ready?
What
Ready?
these guys the most is this was like my favorite movie growing up in the 90s, and it was probably like a little mature for the age that I was watching it at, but my parents really didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
I had a television babysitter a lot of times, and
Oh yeah.
Oh, so did I. I was watching
Yeah, dude.
Spawn when I was like 9.
Right on.
That's cool.
Right on. So
It
what's
was
up?
the same thing.
How'd you get here?
So, where are we starting at?
Wherever you want, dude. Wherever you want.
Like where I started questioning
Where were you
shit
born?
was like, where was I? Yeah. So when I was 14, I saw Loose Change, and I just stumbled across it on the internet. I was let loose on the internet, and when I saw it the first time, I went straight to my dad because he had always talked about JFK,
Yeah.
and he was always trying to get me to watch the movie JFK, and I fell asleep in like every time I tried to watch it, but I knew that he didn't believe the official story of JFK. So when I saw Loose Change, I was like, "Hey, Dad, have you seen this shit?" And he was like, "Listen, man, don't believe everything you hear on the internet."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, all right. Well, you really need to fucking see this thing, man, because I think the government brought those fucking buildings down, dude." And he was like, let's just not, don't talk to your mom about this. You know?
Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Can we just talk
But,
about how
I mean, I was-
cool it is you get to talk to your dad like this? Like, I could never have a conversation with mine.
Yeah.
Just
No.
like, check this out, Dad, and he'd be like, "Yeah, you're done. I don't even know you anymore."
Well, he was my adopted father, so like he
Right on.
was my stepdad, right?
Okay.
And so
You're
the
saying you're-
relationship.
Stepchild?
What'd you say?
I said, so you're saying you're a redheaded stepchild?
Yes, that's exactly what.
Red
I'm saying.
bearded, at least. Red bearded stepchild.
The hair on top's brown, okay, and the hair below is brown. Okay.
Whoa.
So the
man.
drapes
The
don't
beard's
match the
red.
curtain, or they do? What do you?
I'm a brindle.
You're Brindle. Ooh, that's good.
I don't even know what
But no, like,
I got
so
the-
I was 14. I was 14, so like I just basically left it at that and went on with life.
Yeah.
And
Do 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 do. Just back to life.
I didn't. Yeah, just whatever. And I around 2015 when the flat Earth stuff started coming out heavy. My little brother sent me a video. I can't remember the guy's name. The blonde-headed guy.
Matt Powers.
Yeah.
Yes, that guy. He sent me one of his videos,
He
and
did.
I
He
was.
did a phenomenal job, dude. I would give props out to that guy because I feel like he woke a lot of people up, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Wasn't
yeah,
he-
he definitely started me on the journey to look into it for sure. Because I was like, this guy's fucking serious, man.
Yeah.
You know?
He's into it. Sure.
Yeah, serious, and he does not give a damn. Like when he talks.
He's like the
No.
flatter Dennis Leary. Like
Yes.
that's who he reminds me
That is
of.
the perfect.
He's
that is the
just like,
perfect
I'll smoke all the
description.
fucking cigarettes I want. I'll smoke all day. I'll fucking like that's how he is.
Yeah,
he
exactly,
just goes,
dude.
man.
But I will say, so with a video background, I did work with a lot of lighting and like DIY lighting and stuff when I was little. Like when I was younger, making like just short films and whatever.
Yeah.
And
Did
when
you
I
say
saw,
they were skateboarding films?
I
is that
did.
what it
I
was?
made a ton of skate videos.
That's awesome.
I made a ton of skate.
Nice.
I skated when my hip was still good back in the day. I
Hell
got
yeah.
this
I can
trick
still
for
do
hip
it.
now.
What to do, man? You just hit the streets.
Yeah.
I can still do a 360 flip
Yeah.
Can you?
When you're in bed at
I
night
sure can.
dreaming.
when I'm dreaming. Nah, I landed one like a year and a half ago, and it
That's
hurt.
awesome.
I was sore.
You're like, I had to put Ben Gay on the next day, but I landed that shit.
Yeah. But
Oh god, so good.
when I saw the dog cam weather balloon
Oh
footage,
yeah, it's a good one.
Mhm.
It was over.
and I saw the
Oh, man.
hot spot
Yeah.
on the clouds,
Oh my gosh.
that broke my brain. I was like, that can't fucking happen, dude.
Shut
That's
down.
impossible to happen if it's that far away.
This video's
It's
fake.
right there.
You're wrong, dude.
This video's from
Yeah,
Russia.
right.
Clearly, this is a Russian video.
It's Russian disinformation.
Yeah.
Dumb
Like
and you
it's
don't know
psyop.
physics.
Like,
Moving on.
Even
yes.
even after I saw that though, I mean, I still saw, what was it? That Netflix documentary that they always throw at us too, with those two fucking experiments that they edited to shit.
Oh,
I know. I
and
love.
didn't,
They did that dude so
and didn't
dirty.
show all the footage. Yeah, dude, they fucked that up. And that was like, oh, okay. I hadn't like done anything for myself to look into it, and so when I saw that, I was just like, God, I really wanted the flat Earth to be true.
Oh, they got
And I
they
didn't,
got
because
for
I
a
would,
second.
I saw it,
Yeah,
but
I
I
was
didn't.
the opposite, man. I literally I didn't want it to be true, man. It like tore me apart
Right.
at first.
Really?
I didn't want it to be true, man, because it just it just showed how much corruption there was and how much they actually do lie, man. But when you actually when you actually do come to the conclusion that it's flat, man, for me it's just like a glorious revelation, and it just
Hell yeah.
makes me very introspective, and
Yeah.
knowing that this place was created solely for us, and it just
man.
changes your viewpoint of the world and makes you appreciate things a lot more, in my opinion.
Very well
You know,
said.
man, you could go off the rails too, but for me, it was just very, very cool and very spiritual, and it gave a lot more meaning to my life than it had before.
It was extremely spiritual for me too, dude. Because like, I just started looking up at the sky again.
Yeah.
And in thinking again, you know? It felt like I could think again for the first time in my, well, really for the first time ever.
They don't
That's
want
a
that.
great description. Yeah, it was like a cloud lifted, right? Like the
Hell
fog
yeah,
was
man.
gone, man, and this instant clarity came in.
And if you're like me, I wasn't like an introvert, or, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but I wasn't like an outcast or anything like that, man. You know, I had a pretty good upbringing, regardless of, you know, my mom being a single mom. Love you, Mom. Like, you did such a great job taking care of us.
Right on.
But
Shouts out to
I
Mom.
always felt like I just didn't fit in with society, you know. And once that finally came around, you know, I had small groups that I fit in with and stuff, but just the system and
Sure.
corporate and everything, I never felt like I fit in, and just felt a little bit off. And once I found that out, it was just like so eye opening. It's like, well, this is why, man.
Yeah, man.
This is why. I can always feel it.
Oh yeah, I had the same thing. I was always felt like there was something off about everything, you know? Even church. I was like, something ain't right about how y'all are doing this,
Yeah.
but I feel like this is what we're all supposed to be doing, you know?
You Catholic? Were you raised Catholic or?
Southern Baptist, baby.
Come on, he's-
Yeah,
Nice.
sitting on the side of the interstate too.
Wait, what?
The Westboro Baptist Church or whatever. Really too
Oh no, it wasn't that deep.
Hey,
They said it. I didn't say it.
I like how Rufus asked if Death was Catholic. Can you imagine him saying Hail Mary with a southern accent? Come on, man.
He's spitting the sun.
It's all like Hail Mary.
Dude, I was raised Catholic. I was
Hail Mary.
You know, I was raised Catholic, and I was an altar boy.
Wow.
There were some allegations in my church that turned out to be true, which is unfortunate.
Wow.
Hush, hush. But, you know, I was always like, you know, a little offended that, you know, I didn't have any passes taken to me or anything.
I was gonna say, how did it taste, Rufus?
They knew that's some people.
Please
I
tell
was-
me you're talking about the Christ check.
I was talking about communion. Yes.
Okay.
How does communion taste? That's what I meant.
Unfortunate, dude. I mean, if that doesn't
That's
help
why
you,
it works out so hard
The
now.
Jesus.
you know, I don't know what else. And they just the Catholic Church is so good at sweeping that shit under the rug too, man.
You want to talk about a system? That is a system. That is an
Hell
empire
yeah,
right
man.
there, dude.
It is.
And not by chance either.
What I'd like to talk about is Death's story. That's what we were talking about.
So
oh yeah,
go,
we could do that.
so go ahead.
Fast forward to COVID. Paying attention to what's going on, and then they locked the world down.
Yeah.
And I started really trying to figure out what was going on, and I went down like an rabbit hole for a long time, because I was like, I know that the government's trying to fuck all of us somehow, some way. If I can just figure out a money situation where I can capitalize on this, I don't care, you know? And it just kept getting worse and worse, and like they pushed so fucking hard that whole time that I got nervous for a split second, and then I was like, I need to start talking about this as much as I can, because nobody else around me is fucking talking about this shit, you know? So I started
You mean
making videos again
Oh, nice.
and just trying to connect dots where I saw dots. I saw things that were going on with, you know, certain types of medicine and whatnot that were being pushed.
Yes.
And definitely felt an adverse reaction to all that.
Like as if you knew it was BS. All of
Hell
it.
yeah, I knew it was BS, dude. I felt them crank up the fucking heat, and I was like, I got to get out of this pot, man.
Jump right out.
And I need to try and help other people get the fuck out of this pot because it's not going to be pretty if we keep going this. You know,
it's extremely taboo for all the dumbest reasons in the world. Because
why do you think we can't show our faces? You know, it has nothing to do with us being afraid or us not talking about it in real life, or
yep.
You know, it has nothing to do with anything besides the fact that it is so taboo, man. And all of a sudden the word gets out that you're speaking on the internet to the world about these things, and then you get all sorts of backlash because of it, and from people who don't even know or haven't even looked into it.
Well, that's kind of what I was expecting. But when I posted that first Flat Earth video, it fucking blew up. And then I was like, oh, shit, I think I found my people.
Yo, people. You found us.
Yep.
We're yo people.
Hell yeah. I tagged y'all in that first video because I just saw y'all, like, just passing by. And I was like, hey, these are some Flat Earth dudes, and they seem pretty cool. I want them to see this video. And then you were like, hey, man, I really like your fucking videos.
yeah.
They were good. They were good.
They are, man.
They are good.
Every day.
It's a calling.
I love making Flat Earth videos, dude.
We love you making Flat Earth videos.
I know. Thank you.
Everybody on Twitter does.
Story, dude, and I think it's cool, man, that you were able to wake up at such a young age, and that had to be a pretty heavy burden to bear when you're going through everything in high school and everything.
Oh God, I can't even imagine that.
And, you know,
I was
maybe
oblivious in high school.
What was it like in high school, man? Were a lot of people talking about that stuff? Or because I even there was a little rumblings about like Illuminati and stuff when I was in high school, but it really, and you know, and it was all a rumor kind of thing, you know, at that point.
It always is.
That's basically all it was for me too. Like nobody really talked about anything. If they did, it was Illuminati this, and that's about it. You know,
I mean, dude, it's cool to hear about stories where like teachers have to like deal with kids coming into their classroom now and confronting them about
Hell
this.
yeah.
So awesome to hear that, man, because you
Why
know
not me?
exactly what you should be doing in school, man. You should be looking at both sides and trying to figure out like what's the validity to both these sides and which one's the actual truth. Not the government mandated schools shoving information down your throat, and you're not going to pass the test if you don't agree with the information, and you're not going to get through.
Right.
Put them in check, man.
Yeah.
Put them in
It's
check.
so cool to hear that, though, man, and that's how you know we're at a tipping point. Because obviously, parents are talking to them about that, and they should be.
And you can see these
and they don't know how to defend it either. Like their kids are coming to them with information they've never heard before, and they don't know how to respond.
Yeah, they're getting shook. Honestly,
If they want to respond, they're going to go home and start looking into it themselves.
Right, or they're just going to go and cry and moan and groan to the
I can't do this anymore.
So have any of you talked about it with your kids yet? At all?
I have.
I tell my kids that everything they see on the TV isn't real.
That's a good rule of thumb, I would say.
That's a very broad
thing. You know, they know my. You know, I'm really close with my kids. They're about 10 and 8, and you know, I do talk to them about it though, man. And you know, I tell them that they need to make the decision for themselves when they have the capability to research into these things. But I'm not shy about sharing my beliefs with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what really fucked me up?
I even got the children's book from Eric DeBay, The Earth Plane. Yeah. It was, you know, it's a little complex for those ages. I feel like it's like a young adult's book written in a child's fashion, because I think a lot of kind of it's pretty wordy and it goes over their head a little bit, which actually has kind of inspired me to possibly put together a children's book at some point, and that's a goal of mine.
Very cool.
Hell yeah,
Very
Rufus.
cool.
We got to make that happen, baby.
Well, you're the artist, man, so I'm gonna need some.
You know what really fucked me up? This was probably 6 months ago. I was watching some kid show with my 4-year-old, and they were talking about space. And he turned to me and he said, "Daddy, I'm scared because we're in outer space."
Oh no.
What do you say?
I was like, dude, I was like, "Hey man, I know that sounds scary, but I just wouldn't even listen to anything you hear on this TV. I can't say it's real, man. So just don't be scared. We're here. Go look outside. Does it look scary? It's not scary.
That's awesome.
You know?
That's the way to do it. That's exactly what I did with my kids. I was like,
He's 4. I'm not trying to say
no.
everybody around you's a liar. You know?
Dude, I feel you guys on this because look, they're in the system, right? Like I don't have a choice. If I was making tons of money, I'd be putting them in private school or whatever, or actually homeschooling, honestly. But you know, reality is that's not the case. You know, and I know they gotta come home. I know they gotta do their solar system project. I know all this is coming, right? You know, so I'm preparing for this, and I'm just saying, listen, you know, what you hear Daddy talk about, and you know because I am very vocal about it all the time. I come home and tell my wife like, oh, this, you know what I mean? Like how can he believe this? Look outside, look at that sun. You know what I mean? And it's like,
dude, when they have to do the solar system project, how epic would it be, dude, if you help them put together a flat Earth model?
Oh, dude.
And these are the wandering
cannot.
stars that you don't know shit about.
Imagine
All kids, though, dude. Before I even like fully came out of the flat Earth closet, me and my kids were watching Sesame Street one day, and they literally had like a bookshelf in the back, and there was a fiction section, and there's literally a rocket and a globe sitting right on top of where it says fiction.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. And I guarantee it, dude. They always show you.
Oh man, yeah, that's why I was like, listen, guys, just use your best judgment, use common sense, and ask questions. I told my kids, don't be afraid to ask questions, and then show them why you are asking the question because it looks like this. This is what it appears like. Yeah. This is how I see it, how I experience it. Why are you saying it's this? You know, and just kind of instilling in them that empowerment of not being afraid to ask questions, really, is where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Because it's like
100%.
And I tell them just play the game, play along.
Teacher, this is how I was raised. Right. Is just listen to your teacher, be a good kid, and pay attention, and just basically repeat whatever the teacher says, and that's the reality of things.
Then once they get in their teens and they start telling me where to stick it, I'm going to tell them to go tell their teacher where to stick it as well. Like, you take that attitude, that badass, fiery attitude, and you go right in your classroom. You tell them how they're wrong. Oh, and take these notes with you, please.
That's awesome. So, Bill, I guess it's your turn, or you want me to go? I don't know. I don't care.
I mean, ours are kind of synonymous.
I know. They go together. So, have at it.
So, 2016, what a year. In so many ways. I was a normie to the bone before then, growing up. Pretty sheltered, but we, had our stints in music and whatnot, doing a bunch of different things. And I lived a kind of a wild lifestyle. But I was always into these, alien stuff and all that, like all the weirdness, I'm working with Ted. And he gets into these videos. I don't know. He'll probably be able to tell you better how, but the Mandela effect was the first one, man, where it was really a hitter. It was like, hold on, dude. Like, these are verifiable by simply memory alone, right? You know what I mean? Like, no, I specifically remember,
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever.
Right, yeah, exactly. You're watching videos. I guess that led you, by a certain guy that was putting out that video, led you into a flat Earth video, and you were just. I tell the story not the same way every time, but close enough.
Let me just say, because I didn't just go, okay, here's some Mandela effect videos. Oh, that seems weird and legit. I'm just gonna jump to this guy's other video and believe that. It was actually almost the exact opposite. It was like I started watching Mandela effect videos and I was like, okay, that's weird. That's weird. Okay, that's weird too. And then I saw a flat earth video and I was like, wait a minute. I can't trust a dude about something who believes the earth is flat. He's clearly an idiot. And I'm going to watch this video and I'm going to laugh at him and then realize all of this was bullshit. And that
Which
never
video was it,
happened.
Ted?
I don't even remember.
I want to say it was Under the Dome.
It might have
Under
been.
the
I
Dome.
Or
don't
it was
remember.
200 proof. Or 200 proof.
Well,
Maybe-
because I don't remember what the first one was, because that night I was up till like 3 a.m. watching video after video after video. So I can't remember what the first one was, but I was like, no, come on. Like, literally, my goal was to go to work the next day and tell Bill, oh my God, look at these idiots. Look at this part that they believe that's so stupid. And I kept looking for that and kept looking for that. And I was like, holy crap.
I just remember your face. I mean, when I tell you, he was like ghost white, dude.
And I'm pretty dark too. I'm fairly. I got some dark skin. I got that olive complexion, but
I was like, okay, cool, man. Yeah, we'll check it out. You know,
like no.
Well, he's done. And I remember, I think we were driving to Miami or something. You're just like, you got to start watching this, and then you pulled over like,
Oh yeah, we were going to Miami, and actually you were supposed to drive because I told you I was tired as hell because I was up till 3 in the morning. I totally forgot this, and then I was like, no, I'll drive. You need to watch, and like you had the phone plugged in, watching the whole way.
And I just remember like, you got to be kidding me, right? And I didn't even know how to react, you know, like. So long story short, from that point on, we were just hooked, and it was just like anything we could find, books, videos, podcasts, whoever was talking about it, it was the only way to kind of get through it, because it wasn't like we weren't trying to debunk it either. The whole time we are. We're just putting 2 and 2 together. We're just looking and we're observing, you know, the gun that takes temperatures.
Laser thermometer.
Yes, that would be the one.
COVID at that point, or what was going on there?
No, this is way before.
I used to do HVAC. I had my own company and all that. So like you use it to get specific temperatures at specific places. So I already had it. So carry on, Bill.
Yeah, he starts shooting it. He starts shooting at the moon at night. And he's like telling me, oh, look, check this out. He's showing me, sending me little videos he made and stuff. And it's just us, man. You know what I mean? We're not on social media. We're not talking about this. We're like, how? And then our whole conversations when we were together were, dude, who in the hell is ever going to listen to us? And that was the beginning of the stages of grief, I think, for both of us. Like, he was going through it a little bit before I was, but man.
I didn't even want to talk to my wife about it at all.
Dude.
At all.
Extreme low, like, depression, when you start realizing, like, dude, this is real as shit, and nobody knows, right? Like, in your head, you're thinking.
You just want to feel special, dude, all right?
And my mom was grilling me once. I remember this, and I'm like, "Look out! I think we're driving home from your wedding, as a matter of fact."
From my wedding, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And we're driving home, and I'm looking out, and it's all I think about, you know. And I'm just looking out at like the sawgrass where the Everglades are, and I'm like, "Don't you think that looks pretty friggin' flat?" He's like, "Oh, that's very observant of you, son." And I'm like, "No, it's flat. It's flat as fuck."
It's flat as
like
fuck,
all
dude.
of it is flat. I just want to tell you it's all flat.
Well, I know you had to get it out. You might have had a beer or two that night. I don't remember.
Hear this.
What's funny about that is everybody in my family knows that I have found something new to spread across the world, because every time I get into something, I'm like, hey, every single member of my family, I'm like, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Do you know about this? Because you need.
So awesome.
That's awesome, man.
fast forward, the Purge, right? And this is I always talk about this because I wasn't really like in social media and heavy into all that or whatever, but I was a super duper political normie. I'm not gonna lie. I was big onto that, like America and all that,
Hell yes.
So it
Shit,
was
yeah, boy.
it was us against the commies, and then I'm starting to get heavy in this, and I just remember that I was fascinated with when the Twitter purge hit. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, for real? Like, this is really happening? Everybody just got thrown the hell off of the biggest social media app in the world for thinking this, for following the president of the United States or whatever it was,
Yeah,
and
who
speaking
cares
their mind.
what it was? It was just they got it for following anybody. Who cares
I was
who
just
it
like,
is?
I was blown away, and I'm like, wow. So I followed at where everybody got dumped over to Parler. I was like, let me start a Parler and see what these guys are talking about. So that's when I really started getting heavy into that, and it's just like it was bombardment of all this stuff, like just craziness, dude.
Yeah, I just want to add a little context here. While you were delving into that, I was just going full on flat Earth. I wasn't paying attention to politics at all. Like, you were covering that base, I was covering the flat Earth base, and then we'd like meet up on the phone, not in person anymore. But
that's a very good point.
Yeah,
because
and we didn't plan it that way. It wasn't like you do that, I'll do this. It was just like we took two different paths.
But this is where so this is where the Rothschild come in. This is where the Illuminati came in. Like, this got all dumped onto me heavy. I mean, I always knew about the Illuminati. You know what I mean? Like, there was always jokes about it. Saturday
He
Night
was
Live.
in full depression. Full depression.
Right. So I'm already depressed, right? Yeah. Because I already know now, I'm like, well, the country's going to shit. Everything's going to shit. And I knew about Agenda 21, actually. I heard about it. And this was playing out similar to that. And then I heard 2030 on top of that. So all these things are playing out. And I'm like, this is it. We're going through it. This is the final battle, right? And I'm like, and the whole time I'm thinking, like, dude, nobody knows the Earth is flat.
Nobody.
Like, we're all gonna die, and they're gonna think they're gonna die on a globe. Like, hold on a second. Just kidding. But so anyway, that's getting dumped in, and it was so much information in such a short period of time. I know there's people that are listening. They went through the purge and all that,
of course,
and that whole little Parler stint, and there was so much information dumped in that short amount. That's when the WikiLeaks dump came out as well. There was a second one. I can't really remember.
WikiLeaks is a psyop, bro. All right.
Is it really?
I'm saying what everyone else says. Everything's a psyop.
Oh, I didn't know they said that. I didn't know they said that.
They haven't, but they will.
Oh, okay.
They will.
They will now, right?
Don't worry.
Somebody has said that for sure.
Well, conspiracy theories lost its effect, so they had to like change the terminology. You fell for a psyop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's so much easier to say. Right?
Yeah, because we were already right about psyops.
The normies didn't know that. The normies didn't know that at that point.
Yeah. No, they didn't, but we saw it. Now everything's a psyop, and everybody fucking says psyop all the time. And it's like, what? Hey, guess what, motherfuckers? That's what we've been saying.
So, yes.
Well, they're always one step behind us. You know, it's always like, I always come out, like, I'm always talking about shit 4 years before everyone else does. And I think anyone who has that natural intuition it's always like 4 years, everyone's call you an idiot. And 4 years later, you're already moved on to something else. And then they just finally come along to that psyop.
Yeah.
Right. And by the time that's hit, there's already 50 different explanations for it, right? So you're just like, well, now I can't even comment on that because mine's out of date. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a dinosaur over here. So
You kind of are.
yeah. Yeah.
That's how it is. Like, you're a truther, you're trying to check them all off.
But wait a minute. If you're a dinosaur, Bill, that means you're not real.
No.
Oh, Bill's faking gay?
But the fake part is
I want to thank Death for giving them an audio sample to use.
I know.
Thank you so much. You know someone's going to clip it. You know they're going to post it.
And you know, because Death is the one editing it, he's going to leave it in. So
yeah, I know. and I have to
It's
bat
gonna
it
be
down.
that hurricane with your head spinning around, and the guy is gonna be saying, "You're gay. Bill is gay."
So we're getting bombarded with all that stuff. We're, hearing about everybody's pedophiles and then I was introduced to the fall of the cabal.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So as many people, people talk shit on it and whatnot, whatever. I believe I'm a kind of a broad viewer of this. I don't sit there and dissect things. I think everything's a bigger picture here, and everything's a soft disclosure. It's a soft introduction in a theatrical way to introduce us how we've been lied to.
That's a lot of big words, all right?
Right.
I don't understand what you just said, so I'm going to take it as offensive. Watch your mouth and sell me a TV.
If anybody has heard about Fall of Cabal, you've probably heard that it's a bunch of BS and it's just a political thing, and it's actually not. It's very informative. There are some things in there that probably need to get rechecked because it's this is a liquid thing. This is a very fluid movement. Things are changing and all the time. But anyway, so I watched that series, got really deep into that. So he's going flat earth still, and I'm just telling him this. You got to check this out. Anyway, long story short, the Q thing. I'm not going to go deep into it. Okay, everybody's either at least heard about it, but I will tell you this: if you haven't seen the proofs video, if you can check it out, I don't know how many proofs it is, whatever. It's pretty compelling, right?
It's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's been years now. This is here 2020. What's going on now?
What is it? The proofs about what?
There's a video of, I think it's like I don't know what it is now, but 101 Q proofs or whatever, and they go proof by proof, showing how it was all lined up with the administration and what Q was saying, and at that time it was all in real time, right? So a lot of this was introduced later on. That's why people are like, "Oh, it's bullshit." No. Well, a lot of this stuff already happened. Okay, this was a military operation that was going on starting in 2016, and when he was quote unquote elected. Okay, so but anyway, I'm not going to get deep into that because I'm sure there's going to be people that will be on this podcast that will know a heck of a lot more than I do. How most of it can be traced with the executive orders, and I do 150% believe we are still in continuity government because they stole the elections, and that's what kicked them off, and that's what they allowed the military to come in and give us a bunch of Muppets.
So what are we going to find out something about, I remember hearing about the watermark ballots, and
right,
and there were markings on there to prove that they were tampered
right
with or whatnot, and I just I heard about that, and I just never knew anything about it since.
I know, and are many reasons for that. Everybody thought that was the funniest part because I don't want to say I hated it, but what drove me most nuts about it are people trying to dissect it and decode these proofs, right? Or decode the drops in real time. They're like, oh, this means this and this means this, and they were spending so much time on that they were missing the entire point. When the entire point was the information that was in the drops, to go search for that. Not to try to connect it when the military is going to come out and say, you're all arrested. That was never going to be the case.
Get in the paddy wagon, see?
Right.
Because you never know, dude. I mean, they said, along with the ballots that all those, high up people in the government are going to be, detained and arrested or whatnot. And I mean,
do you remember January?
Do it or not, but I mean, all these politicians are looking like they're wearing masks or.
Yeah, no, it's that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, okay, so you're.
I'm on the fence either way,
right.
But
all right,
watch it
there
all.
You go.
Exactly. None of us know.
No, nobody knows for sure. Anybody that says they know 100% what's going on are either liars, grifters, or they just want attention.
They're liars in one way or another. Either they're lying about knowing, or they're lying about who they are, and they actually know. One way or the other.
That's a good point too. But I'm glad you pointed that out, Rufus, because this all ties in. Okay, the point of my story is everything is tied together. I truly believe that this was by design. Okay, the introductory to flat Earth, all that stuff. Isn't it kind of funny that it was around 2016, right? 2015, 2016 when this stuff started coming out, right? The Mandela effect, everything like that. All this stuff, and it back then it was magically you could search it on YouTube, right? And it would come right up, no problem.
So do you think, since you're speaking of Mandela effect, do you feel like the Q movement is kind of attached to some sort of like spiritual entity? Because obviously Mandela are physical.
No, I'm gonna hit you with some
Here it goes.
shit right now.
Here it comes.
It's all fake.
It is.
Nice.
All of it. It is all a psychological operation to get all of our attentions and to bring us all into one location per se, right? The internet, when they call it the information warfare and all that, because what was that?
Or like shift our collective consciousness.
Yes, into one. Yes,
Right.
to get it all together and to streamline it all the way down into one place. And that's to, you know what I mean? And if you think about it, most everybody is on Twitter or on Truth, right? I mean,
One
you know,
or the other. Yeah.
that
Or both.
at least getting right, or both, yeah, or that's at least getting.
Funny? You know what's funny? Do you ever see like the notifications on Telegram when one of your contacts joins?
Oh no, you're like you don't know what you're in for.
Every time I'm like, oh, dude, you're not going to be able to handle.
That's so funny that you pointed that out because all the time my wife, I'm like, "Ooh, look who just got on Telegram," and it'll be like the biggest liberal normie that I've ever known. Be like, "Oh, yes,
What are you doing there?
Yeah.
Telegram." I'm so glad you brought that up real quick. I could go back, and that was after the purge. So Parler happened, everything, and then Parler dumped, and there was a big countdown, and it was right when they were certifying the votes on the 21st of January or whatever it was. No, was it January 20th? Gosh, I can't keep up. Anyway,
cares?
or on the 6th.
Yeah.
But they were, so they were doing the 21st thing, whatever it was. Anyway, and that night there was this big countdown, and everybody was on Parler, and we were trying to figure out, go here, go there, and they're all getting dispersed, right? And this is no joke, because I know people that were a part of that, and they could vouch for me on this. Everybody was together and being directed to Telegram. We were directed there. And I remember going on there and I see there's this video and it's Don Jr. It's like, hey guys, how you like the new site or whatever? And he's talking about it and shit. And then he's like, oh yeah, go check out this person. And then it's in the chat groups. And I'd never used this program at all. And all of a sudden it was like the easiest thing to use. Everything was just synonymous with your phone. You know what I mean? Your contacts were already in there. It was just like everything was set up for you. It was the weirdest thing, dude. And then I remember going to a channel and it said, okay, now this one's fake. Now go here. This one's and it's like generals' names, like General.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those are just trash, man. Do you think
right. Yeah, this was, but you got to admit, or I mean, you got to understand. At that time, none of us knew what the hell was going on. So we were getting led, and then oh no, redirect, go over here, and then all of a sudden, everybody's in this one spot, and it's like, welcome to the Great Awakening. I shit you not. It said that. And then all this stuff in the feed started dumping. All this stuff, dude.
Yeah, follow me here for this.
Not only that, though. I mean, it was like dumps of information, dude.
And so do you think that people were put there to be confused, or do you think bad actors came in after the fact and started putting out a bunch of bullshit on there?
Right. Yeah. Yes. I think that I mean, regardless, it was already a platform. It was a Russian platform, as far as I know. Right?
Everything's Russia's fault.
Honestly, I'm glad I never got like super wrapped up in that because I was already on the flat Earth train, and I'm like,
right.
That's all that matters at this point. But
that's why I had to make sure
for a while before already. So, like I said, you're probably moving on to the next thing, you know.
Yeah. So I had a really adverse reaction to it. I had a really adverse reaction to the Q stuff.
Yeah,
because breaking out in hives or or what was that?
My
messing with you, dude. Yeah, let's hear it.
All growing up, all I ever heard was we haven't had a real president since JFK got shot in the head. You know?
Oh yeah, 'cause your
That's-
dad.
You know?
That's all it was.
Well-
And so once I heard all that stuff, I was just like, I don't know. That sounds way too awesome to be true.
I know, and that's
But
why
then
I try to.
then
Go ahead.
I did start looking into it, and I'm right here with y'all. On the fence. We're watching it play out. We'll see.
Right, but you cannot deny that there are masks going on, right? Can we all just
Oh,
agree
there's
on
for
that?
sure. Yeah,
Okay.
that's not as evident as the
Okay, and you
Flatter.
do
Earlobes.
understand that that is not Joseph R. Biden, right? Can we all agree on that? Like,
Mhm.
okay, all right. At least
sure.
we can agree on that point, because if you're
Yeah, I
not,
mean,
you're-
at this point, I mean, there's still a lot of suffering and stuff going on. So at this point, I don't know if it's just someone else. They even took out, Biden to put someone else in that would do whatever the fuck they wanted to, or
right, yeah,
Maybe
and that's
also-
that's totally open to interpretation and fine to think that.
at that point. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't try and speak on things that I
Right.
don't have an answer for, but I'm interested in hearing about it. So
Yeah, no, that's why I wanted to let you guys know that this was my journey. I was pulled into this by design. I fully believe that this was an operation. And so many people think, oh, this was coming, and the sun and the stars aligned, and now society's awakening, and we're in our seventh heaven, and all this. You know what I mean? And
Hey,
they're gonna
dude,
go nuts with it, dude.
The sun is a star, all right?
Yeah,
Let's get this
yeah.
I
Good
heard it was
point.
a portal.
plays out because I mean, the people that are really still adamantly hanging on to it at this point, to the public eye, they look like flat earthers did 5 years ago. They
Mhm.
look like idiots.
That's for
Right.
sure.
Like, you're still putting hope in that.
I was just saying, you're rooting for him, right? Like everybody's like,
I am
come
rooting.
on.
Gotta be rooting
Oh.
for them, but
Yeah.
I love a good underdog story.
Yes, indeed. So
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
long story short, I was like, dude, I was like, oh my God, you got to check this out. I was like, I know it sounds stupid and crazy, because it was just him and I. Everything was Ted and I. Everything. Back and forth. Oh, did you see this? Oh, did you see what so-and-so said? Or did you see what they put out? In this
Like, we had other
And-
close friends, but we knew, like, you can't bring it up to them.
No way.
You can't.
No way.
And
No
when
way.
you've known somebody since you were like 15, like, you know the best and the worst of them. So if you're gonna tell it to somebody, you're gonna just dump it on them. Like, you ain't going nowhere, bitch. Like, come on.
And my
But
wife was a
continue.
ride for the. Yeah, she was
Oh yeah, she was there too.
in for the ride the whole time. So she was like my rock, man, because she saw me going through it. And I was having breakdowns and shit because I tried to tell my dad, and he's like, son, you're absolutely batshit crazy. You understand that, right? And I was like, dude, I got emotional. I was like, Dad, I want to thank you for being in the military and just, serving this country. And I was like all patriotic, and I was just like, felt like a spirit. That was my spiritual moment, because everything tied in. I'm like, oh my God, Flat Earth, the creator, God's winning, like this whole thing, right? And I'm thinking, okay,
Right.
I could be brainwashed as fuck right now, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm like, why is it make me feel so good? You see what I'm saying? Like, I could not, I'm like, if this is a psyop and it's bad, why do I feel so safe right now that I can say what I want, and I could go and look into what I want and then tell these people to stick it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
And,
can
like,
add to.
Honestly, that was the best thing about the Trump presidency.
Mhm.
Is I felt like we kind of just had free reign to speak what's on our mind,
mhm.
and not worry about who's behind our back listening and gonna try and stick it to you in some way or another. And now on just the way the scales tip, and now I mean, I'm not a bigot, and I believe all humans have a right to live the way that they want to, and as long as they're not shoving it in everyone's face, and not harming anyone else. But I feel like I still want to be able to have an opinion.
Yeah, man.
And
yeah, dude.
I feel like it was almost taken away from us. And
Yeah, man.
so this is really healthy for me to be on here just talking about stuff like this and be able to have an outlet.
That's
where
awesome.
I don't feel like I have to be an opinionless drone in my life anymore, man.
That's awesome. What do you think, Ted? So
I
that was
was
kind of
gonna
where I
say
ended up.
what I'm gonna add to what you said about the whole holy crap, I just totally lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
You were saying, what were you saying right before that, Bill?
Oh, the spiritual awakening.
Oh yeah, like okay, so as far as it being a psyop or whatever and making it you feel good, like not only can you say like it made you feel good, but I can 100% say that I am a better person now by discovering Flat Earth and discovering that there's a creator and discovering all of this. I'm better to people in my life. I take the time to let people know I appreciate them. I reach out to people who seem like they need help. It makes you know that we're all in this together. We are here. It was created for us, and we should be good to each other. So, if it's a psyop, it's clearly not a negative one because it's improved my life in so many ways.
That is 100% how I feel.
You
And
just
that's
have to
why.
change your outlook about what life actually is, man, at that point, too.
It changed
And how-
everything for me.
Yeah, man.
Yes, I can relate 100%. You know, I already tried to be
It's really
before that, but it's just magnified it immensely.
it's really nice to look at the crazy clown world and be like, no,
Yeah,
y'all
no,
are dumb,
exactly.
dude.
I don't need to be a part of that. I don't need to be. That's
No.
I can tell you, I don't think I've laughed as hard or as often
Oh yeah. for sure.
since I'm awake now, and I see things, and I see people like when they get all bent out of shape with, and I just die, and I'm like, you have no idea, dude. The level of deception and like the level of sleep that you are in right now.
Yeah.
You know?
It's nice to have that laughter back, too, you know.
Oh yeah, man.
And have something that you can genuinely kind of laugh out loud about, because leading up into that, I mean, the way that we look for entertainment to get our laughter a lot of times beyond personal relationships, especially when you get older and you don't have those friendships where you're socializing as much, and the entertainment has just turned to such trash that nothing.
Oh my gosh, I can't even see it
anymore, dude.
That's a good point.
Got kicked off the air. I don't think that, and also that like desensitized myself, because that was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life, and I don't think anything could ever get funnier than that. But nothing is funny. I feel like it's a combination of seeing the funniest shit you're ever gonna see combined with all the other shit is just complete garbage, and they ran out of ideas, and a lot of it's like propaganda too. And it's so great to have that laughter and joy back again, man.
Yeah, and it's honestly, you feel sometimes like you can't be touched.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I'm definitely more assertive in my everyday life now that I know that I'm right. I mean, not to put it in a bad way, but like you guys have no clue. Do you even know what the World Economic Forum is? Shut up, Teller. You don't know shit.
Yeah, and that's why you need to talk to people too, especially about Flat Earth. I've seen, dude, and I give them this look, and I'm like, do you think that I would be this confident about what I'm saying?
That's exactly what it is.
Research and look into it while you know nothing about it and call me a clown.
Yeah.
And that almost, you can see the look in their face. It's almost like a fear, like, oh my God, I think this guy could possibly be right.
Yeah. I know.
But my ego won't allow it.
Hi, man. It's like a light switch goes off, and people do look up to me, and they don't think I'm an idiot. So it's like, wait, there might be something to this if this guy's talking about it.
He may be.
Yeah, the first time I actually had a real conversation with somebody who came up and asked me about it, they said, well, why do you think the Earth's flat? And I said, well, it measures that way.
Nice.
And then they just looked at me. They looked at me like, okay, all right, hell yeah. So, and he goes, I have one question. what about satellites? And I was like, they're all on balloons, bro.
You're
There's
like,
not a one that's not on a balloon.
you're
And
like,
then
you
he was
mean
like,
the Dave Matthews Band
I mean,
song?
just think about satellites. How much it would have to go into that satellite to make it real in the first place. I mean, even the basics is the components of the satellites.
Magic.
If anything knows anything about solar panels and how often they actually need to be replaced.
I know, they're up there forever.
Because
Forever.
I've never heard anyone talking about replacing the solar panels on these outdated satellites.
Shh, listen, that is logical thinking. You're not allowed to do that.
Yes. Why you gotta
well,
take
they
that
don't
line,
talk
bro?
about it.
You're gonna have to edit
It
that out,
happens.
Death. We can't have people thinking we're logical here. Clip, cut it out.
But there are so many other things with satellites, but even just the basics don't make sense.
Dude,
Once
are you an
That was
idiot?
the only.
I can see
Well,
them with my
yeah.
I can see them with my naked eye, even though they're the size of a futon. 250 miles away, I can see them with my eye. All right? They're there.
All right.
Now, let's just be serious here.
And this is why I'm laughing. I have to laugh.
This,
Once I realized that was the only pushback I was gonna get in real life, I was like, "Oh, it's on,
I
dude."
know. That's the whole thing, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I probably shouldn't even say this, but I was like scared to come on Twitter because I'm not a scholar. Like,
Right.
so I was like, dude, there's gonna be somebody on here and they're gonna fucking bring up something. And not that they would be right, but they're gonna bring up something I've never thought of. After 8 years of researching it, I should have known, but I figured they were going to bring up something I've never thought of, and I wasn't going to have an answer. And you know what? It hasn't happened. Not once.
You know what? That still doesn't make the Earth a globe.
No, it doesn't, but you know how they are. You know how... You don't have an answer right this second? What, are you retarded?
Yeah.
And it's independent of the fact that the Earth is a globe and flat Earth are completely independent of each other. And just because I can't have answers, even if the world wasn't flat, we've obviously falsified the fact that the radius is the size that it is.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
and the whole model is tied to that size. So you can't just say the Earth's bigger. Must be bigger than they measured it. They got it wrong. No, you know, everything, the day cycle, day and night cycle, uses that number. You know, every other thing about the model uses the size as the number, and it has to be exact. So if they got it wrong, they got the entire model wrong.
No. I saw on Google.
Where's your map, motherfucker?
Google
Yeah.
showed me that it all makes sense. All right. Google
This
showed
is
me.
true.
Full Earth.
But Bill, you were
Earth.
saying
That's proof.
something before about art sucking now, or music, art in general, and that's a huge thing for sure. Look, like
Yeah.
they push this modern art craze. Like, I don't know shit about art. I'm not trying to. I have no visual art capability up whatsoever. Audio art, music, I can play anything if you give me enough time with it. But visual, I can't draw a stick figure. But we all know that there was a long time when art got super weird and people are like, oh, look how beautiful this is. It's not beautiful. It's ugly. And they just try to tell you don't understand it. That was that was not on accident. They did that.
Mhm.
They dumbed this down. I'm sure just like everything else in college, they went into art schools and made them do stupid, ugly shit. Because look at the old art and look at the new art and tell me which one's art. Look at new construction, look at
I
old
was just gonna
construction.
say, yep.
Tell me which one is craftsmanship and which one is like, well, we stacked some blocks up, put some rebar in it. It's good.
This'll hold people.
Yeah.
The modernization, just the mundaneness of it all now, you know, it has really it's taken the luster out of it, man.
Everything. They've taught us that nothing matters. Like, okay, I know it's a stupid example, but an example. So my wife's had this Sony TV for like 18 years or something. It works beautifully. We bought a new TV the year we got married. It's been in the trash for 2 years. That was like, it lasted 4 years. The 18-year-old one is working, but the whole entire culture is, Just throw it out and get a new one. They're cheap now.
Yes.
Just get rid of it and get a new one. And then that crosses over to relationships with people. Just, I'll find someone else online. Just get rid of that person.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see what they were eating when they posted it? I don't want to be friends with them anymore. I'm vegan this week, so they just ate a shrimp. I don't like it. Oh, Lord. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. So Ted, it brings us to you, man. I mean, I know ours kind of were parallel, our stories.
Somewhat. I mean, once you start at that level, but...
Right.
I'll go back to, I could say... I've always been a smartass. I can remember back when I was a kid, it was hilarious because my grandmother would always call me fresh and my mom would call me rotten. And even at a young age, I was like, you guys need to make up your mind. Am I fresh or rotten? Like, that's literally like elementary school. So I've always had a little venom in my speak. One of my aunts used to tell me why do you throw verbal darts? I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Of course I threw a verbal dart back when she said that. But, so, I've always been I hate the term black sheep, but the one that didn't care if I thought it, I'm going to say it to my family, whatever. But I remember, like, literally the first thing that woke me up, and of course at the time I thought I was, like, revolutionary, but, so, my grandparents were Catholic. Loved them to death. They weren't preachy. Like, my grandmother used to make rosaries for the church, and they would help out at fundraisers and stuff. And so my mom was more Christian. She didn't really go to Catholic church. But so I remember being a kid, I don't know, early, like 12, maybe 13, going to church with them. And it was like a Saturday mass because we had something to do Sunday. So there was very few people in there, probably like 30, 40 people. But so I remember a homeless guy walking in the back of the church, sitting at the very last pew, and just sitting down, not bothering anybody. You wouldn't even have noticed he was there if it wasn't bright outside, and when the doors open, it kind of lit up the church. So I'm sitting there, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I remember looking back and seeing two of the ushers escort him out and make him leave. And at that moment, I was like, this is not about what they're telling me it's about. And, like, I didn't, clearly at 12 or 13, you don't have a full grasp on anything at all. But I knew at that moment, and I didn't even remember that until I started thinking about what I was going to say. But, like, I knew at that moment that things weren't what we're told always. And there's lots of other reasons at that same age that I thought the same things, but I won't get into. But, like, that was around the age when I first started thinking things were weird. And then, I think, let's see, so 2001, so I was 19 when 9/11 happened. And that didn't sit right with me. So I went from, thinking stuff was weird with the church and not wanting to have anything to do with it, to 9/11 to thinking, okay, not knowing what was weird, but just knowing what I was seeing on TV was not what was really happening. Even at 19, I knew, like, something's weird, but I didn't care. Like, as long as I don't get drafted, I don't care, whatever. I got shit to do.
Right.
So, I didn't really think about it too much, but then I went on my way and went in a touring band, and you get in different cultures because you meet different people, and I was like straight edge and vegan for 10-15 years, so went into learning about all kinds of that stuff. So that's mainly at that time what I dumped my research into, reading A Diet for a New America and all this, and like I still believe a lot of it, but I eat meat again, I'm just gonna say. But things like that start pointing out that, hey, shit's not always like it seems. Everything you've been taught could be possibly bullshit. And then, like I said, we went into the Mandela effect, and I don't even remember, because I'm not a big YouTube person. I was never like, hey, I'm going to watch videos on my phone. I don't use my phone until I was on Twitter, then I started. But before that, I always used to say, I don't give a shit what my phone is. I just want it to be able to call and text once in a while if I need to.
Yep.
I don't even care. Like, I never used my phone, and now that I'm on Twitter, my shit's like, your screen time's up 900%. I'm like, oh goddamn. My hosts are gonna burn out. I can't look at this. But so anyway, there was a lot of things that made me question a lot of stuff and have a different narrative, and I don't know what made us look into Mandela at all. I just happened to be looking. I do remember that it was like the one time me and my wife ever argued, and I was like, I'm gonna sleep on the couch. And so I was just scrolling through YouTube videos and came across Mandela, and then, like I said, I was like, oh, this shit's crazy, but this idiot listens or talks about Flat Earth. I'm gonna talk shit on this. And I went over to Flat Earth, and before this, I wasn't only atheist, I was like one of those asshole atheists that would laugh in your face about God. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. There's times in my life where I was not a great person. And you know this, Bill. Dick. I was.
No way.
No, I can't even imagine. But, like, I kind of started being nicer as I got older. But, like, it just... It all hits you, and then you realize there's a creator. You realize our actions here do matter. You realize the people that you took for granted do matter. You realize all of that, and then once you realize that, then you're like, holy crap, I've been lied to by... And sidetrack, I digress. People always talk about, you think that many people are in on the lie? No, it's exactly like Santa Claus. I know everyone uses that excuse, but there's no central meeting where they all say, okay, you're going to lie to your kids. No, they just do it. And this is even worse because Santa Claus, they know is fake, but they know it brings you joy as a kid, so they'll lie to you for that. But this, they believe is real, so they don't even feel that little bit of guilt like they do about Santa Claus. So they're not lying to you. They believe it. So your teacher believes it.
It's not a lie if you believe something that's not true.
Exactly.
And you lie when you know something's not true and you try and convince other people otherwise.
Good point.
Yes. So that's how my eyes got open to it. And then I honestly remember it was part of because, like, Bill and I used to work together every day, and then he moved about 3 hours away. So, you know, you rarely get a chance to talk, and a lot of people lose connection, but we were like, we still texted all the time and shit, and then we were talking about, like, experiments we had done, and, oh, I tried this, and I tried that, and then we were like, because we had a Truth Social, and it wasn't about Flat Earth at all, it was just whatever. We were just on there, mostly political stuff. And we were like, let's start a Twitter. And we came up with the names, blah, blah, blah. And I would say, like, this has always happened with me and Bill. When one of us are, like, weary about something, the other one is super confident about it.
Yes, every single time.
And it always goes back and forth.
Every single time.
And, like, not only with a certain example, but in time. Like, so say, when we first started Twitter... I remember Bill texting me, and he's like, dude, I can't keep up with Twitter. It's so much faster than Truth Social because there's so many more people, blah, 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 blah. It's like messages, I can't keep up with this. And then I was like, oh, dude, it's fine. Like, I got it, blah, blah, blah. Let's just stick it out a little bit. And then, like, a month in, I was like, I don't know if I can take Twitter. There's so many assholes on here. Like, because this was at the beginning when we had, like, no followers, and only people who would comment on our posts were people talking shit. And, like, literal, like, the worst shit I've ever heard in my life. Stuff I wouldn't repeat in front of a family member or something. And I'll say some crazy shit in front of them. But these people will say some bad stuff. And I was like, I don't think I need this in my life. Like, literally.
You remember me telling him, like, dude, I was like, because over, at least on Truth, like, you had this group that would, like, yeah, and get behind you, you know what I mean? It'd be like a battle, right?
Yeah.
We were over at Twitter, it was just like, we were by ourselves, dude, and then we're going on these big, giant accounts, and we're saying something, and everybody's attacking you, and nobody else in the comments is saying anything. They're just
I
like,
literally at first was like, dude, there's no flat earthers on Twitter. There's none. That there can't be because no one's jumping in and arguing with us. So
it was just like they just watch you get
that's
bald.
Once you start getting in and you let your emotions take over on Twitter and you start, flying off the cuff with insults and whatnot, you get deboosted. So the people who are supposed to see that aren't going to see it. And
yeah, we had no idea about any of that stuff.
So, just
I'm just going to say this.
a little bit in more of an intellectual way than stooping down to their level, and you're going to have a lot more success on the Twitter than if you turn to insults like the Globies do.
Hey man, you do you, I'll do me. All right.
No.
I'm just saying, like, you're a super nice guy. I think you're awesome. You're probably a better person than I am. I'm just gonna be honest. I grew up rough, man. I grew up where you talk shit to your best friends and say the worst shit ever to them, and then you all laugh about it. So this is like old hat to me. I know I'm showing my age by using the term old hat, but you know what I mean. This is nothing. So like when they jump in and they think, oh, watch, this is gonna hurt their feelings, I literally crack up laughing.
Yep.
Get my wife mad at me because I woke her up. Then I make her look at it, and she laughs, and we both get joy out of it. So thank you.
I laugh too, to be honest.
It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. And I will say it was never our intention to be rude on Twitter. Like,
no.
At that point, I was a reformed person. I'm like, anybody who knows me now in my real life would be like, he's such a nice fellow. He's always trying to help out. Like, they've never heard me say a curse word. They've never heard me say any of that. Because when you're in real life and it has an effect around, and I like to spread positivity. I like to be nice. I like to point out when people do a good job. I like to do all that.
Laugh.
But
yeah,
when someone jumps in and literally one of the first comments I got from a Globie was, "This is why your mother should have had an abortion," I'm like, I literally, like, well, not literally. I hate when people misuse that word, so I won't. But I mentally cracked my knuckles and went, all right, let's do this. Like, okay, you want to talk like that? I can do this. And not only can I do it, I'm going to do it while I'm cooking dinner. I'm going to do it while I'm fixing my garden. I'm going to do it while I'm at work. And I'm still going to clown you.
Real quick, I want to point out. So he goes, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I've been working on some stuff. I'm doing some research. Because I was like, where did you go, dude? It's Bill and Ted. But right now it's Bill. And Bill is in the trenches taking grenades. And I'm like in there, and there's like 7 of them, dude, just pounding me. And I'm pretty sure there were some people in there that can vouch. They saw. But Rufus.
Yeah, Rufus is one of them.
Rufus is like, dude, you got this, bro.
That's honestly not my wheelhouse, so I'm glad.
Right, but he's just like, you're doing great,
dude,
man.
Rufus is like that dude sitting in the car still when you're getting your ass jumped, and he's like, you're doing great, dude.
Hell yeah, get him, man.
But no lie, dude. He was there, and he chimed in, and he's like, and then all of a sudden, like, I see that he, shares a tweet or something, and then things start happening, and I'm going, Ted, you dick! Like, where are you, dude? He's like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I was like, I didn't even want to come on Twitter. I didn't want to do this. I was a superstar,
dude. That's exactly how it went. That's exact.
Which I was not a superstar, but I was at least getting some sort of making some sort of headway. But
it definitely gets dark on Twitter. It gets real dark on Twitter. The first video I posted.
When they called it the big blue toilet or the big blue bathroom, I didn't really understand why. Until I was there, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like,
I say you guys are built for Twitter, though, man. You fire it back, and you got the energy.
It was when he finally came back, and I'll let him pick it up from there. But he's like, I had to go do some research, and I always make a joke. It's like, well, he picked up a Twitter for Dummies book. I don't know how he did it, because all of a sudden he came back. He's like, here you go, bitches. Boom. and he just drops all this info.
Do you want to know the truth about it? I'm gonna feel kind of like a sissy saying this, but I talked to my wife about it, and I prayed about it, and I was like, you know what? For the first time in my life, I'm just gonna be me. I don't give a crap what they say. Right. I don't care.
Hell yeah.
I have a wife who loves me. I have a small group of friends that get me and know me. I have a job that I love, and these are idiots that could be fake, could be completely different than who they say they are. Who knows? I'm just gonna say whatever the hell I want to say and let the chips fall where they may. And I'm gonna put out anything I want, and they can say whatever they want. And if I don't have an answer, I'll find it. Again, hasn't happened yet, but it will someday.
Well, dude, I tell you, man, I'm super glad you had that epiphany, man, and has led to the success and hopefully the continued success that we have on that platform, and hopefully will lead to other things. And, you know, you guys spearheaded our little movement and gave us the momentum too, because I don't think that I could have made it to the point where I'm at without you guys' support, and probably Death would say the same thing, man.
And how awesome is it? How, like this,
Absolutely.
It was like a wildfire. You notice that? Like everybody caught fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
dude.
Around, we have like this our own little corner of Twitter that we got this like
awesome
army
people. Awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
All of them, dude. They're like
a lot of people together too, man, and help unify the movement a little bit, man. And now we're just kind of like a unified front.
Yeah, dude.
I
really feel that. I really feel that.
You guys really picked me up because the first video that I made, like it did well with people who liked it, but there was one day, and it was right around when Ted messaged me asking me about, you know, coming and doing videos and stuff with y'all, where like some lefty weirdo got a hold of my video and shared it in their little corner of Twitter. And for a solid day, the views doubled, and it was already at 40,000 views or something like that, and it doubled overnight, and it was just getting shit on constantly for 24 hours. And it was, I wasn't ready for it. Like I really wasn't ready for it, and I kind of had a come to Jesus moment there where I was just like, fuck these guys. I'm making these fucking videos. And I don't give a fuck who doesn't like it. I'm making these fucking videos because I like making these fucking videos.
Yeah.
But when y'all message
your back, dude, and swept you up off the floor and you know, help put it to the Globies for you, man, because that's their wheelhouse, you know. And Death's better at it than me too. And you know, I'd like to say that I'm gonna try and get better, but honestly, I don't give a shit. And
dude, but everybody, we all have our strong points.
Yeah, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and I just like putting out information and talking to good people.
That's definitely the good part of it, when you get to talk to the good people. Like we said, we've all gotten private messages, and like I don't think I've ever used this term in my life, but it like warmed my heart when people were like, I never looked at this in that way until you said it that way, and now I see it. That's like the best feeling.
And that's what makes it all worthwhile, and that's direct evidence that what we are doing is helping, you know, move us in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And you know, I hate to cut it short, but I want to tell my story real quick, and then
all right.
We should probably wrap this up. I got to get going anyways. Okay, so anyways, you know, the other day when I started, you guys are gonna love this story. The other day when I told you that I started trolling the scammers on my phone. You know, we all get those.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was awesome. I could not believe you said this, dude.
What a great idea.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
I'd like go along and play along with the scammers just to like waste their time because, you know, they're assholes and fuck them. So, you know, that evolved to me like I don't know if it was practice for Twitter or practice for real life, and also to troll them a little bit. But I came up with the idea that instead of trying to go along with their scam, I would start trying to convince them that the Earth was flat. And start
So good.
Earth memes and videos and all this and that. So anyways, right after I told you that yesterday, I had a couple scammers text me right afterwards, like they were listening to our conversation.
No.
Right.
You are scammers. But anyways, so I had a couple people hit me up, and one of them's like, I can't remember exactly what they brought. Oh, they always bring up golf for some reason, probably to like see if you're into golf, because then you have money or something like that. But they're like,
They want to see if you got money.
yes, exactly. That's my theory at least. But they always bring up, they're like, hey, do you want me to make a tea time for tomorrow, Bill? And if they don't say your name, and then they play it like, oh, I got the wrong number, sorry, but can we be friends?
Mm-hmm.
And so anyways, like, I get the text from this particular scammer that I made a tea time, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll do it. I'd love to go golfing, man. I just went yesterday. And then, like, nothing happens. And then I get another text message, like, half hour later. It's like, hey, do you have a saw? Do you have, like, a buzz saw or some kind of weird saw? Sure, yeah, I have a saw. You can borrow it. And and then somehow it led on to like, did you know that the world is flat though? And then I start busting out the memes. And this scammer is like, you know, a little bit different than your common scammer, because they start like actually like having a conversation with me about it. And
This is awesome.
I send them a couple one, and they're like, and it was one with like the picture of the flat Earth, and you can see it, and he was like, well, the Earth's just really big, and that's why it looks like that. And so then after that, I bust out like 10. I was like, do you even know like what the size of the Earth is? This, that, the other, and bust out like 10 different facts. And then he's like, man, it seems like you really know a lot about this. Like, did you watch a documentary or something?
Yes, just one documentary.
And I was like, no, dude, I do know a lot about this though. And went on to a couple other things, and he's like, oh yeah, man, well, I'm sold on this. Like, how do we start to get the word out on this? And I was like, dude,
Yes.
we're already getting the word out. You're late to that. But, you know, honestly, what I feel like you should do is that you need to have a come to Jesus moment. And if you realize that the earth is flat, that means that there has to be some sort of creator. And you probably shouldn't be spending your time on this earth trying to scam people.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
And it went quiet for a little bit. And then I got another text message. I can't remember what it was about. So, but anyways, 5 minutes later, I get a phone call from this number, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, the scammer's trying to call me. And I didn't answer it. And I missed the call for whatever reason. So I was like, oh shit, this scammer tried to call me. So, you know what, the first thing I did, I went on the internet and I tried and like reverse search the phone number on it. And there wasn't really a lot of information, but it came from the area code of Topeka, Kansas. And I was thinking for a second, and then it dawned upon me. I was like, oh shit, man, I forgot I gave my next door neighbor my phone number, and I didn't save his phone number in my phone, and he's from Topeka, Kansas. This dude that I thought was the scammer the whole entire time was my next door neighbor.
No.
I had just moved into this house and have barely even know this guy. Only had a handful of conversations to him before, besides like very brief conversation.
Wow.
No way, dude. That's
so
hilarious.
I straight up blew up my neighbor on flat Earth facts, thinking he was a scammer the entire time. So I call him up and I'm like,
badass.
dude, I'm so sorry, man. Like, I don't want you to get the wrong opinion about me. I like scammers, and I thought you were a scammer, dude. And I swear, like, I wouldn't come out and I wouldn't straight up. Like, I don't just try and force my way into people's lives and try and convince them the Earth's flat, especially not my neighbor who I don't even know, dude. And I just don't want you to think I'm a weirdo. And he's kind of weirded out, but he was like understanding. He's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, I thought it was kind of weird that you were like calling me a scammer, but I just thought maybe I misconstrued what you were trying to say.
Oh, that's good.
Anyways, my moral of the story, though, and it's a really good moral, is because I came home that night and I had to take care of my son, who's 7 months old. My girl was going out for the night, or my wife, and so I had to take care of him, and they were all hanging outside, him and his wife and his mother-in-law. So I went over and like just wanted to kind of once again apologize and just say what's up. And that kind of led into us talking for a while, and he offered me a beer, and we ended up, it ended up going on to like a really long conversation just about our lives and everything. And it did get into flat Earth a few little times because he obviously told his wife and mother-in-law about it, and they couldn't give me shit about it.
Yeah.
And but it really brought me close to these guys, and now we're gonna be like really good friends. And
That's really cool.
It doesn't really matter.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
And the thing is, like, you know what? Even though we disagreed on this, and honestly, to be honest, dude, this dude's gonna end up being a flat earther.
Oh yeah,
Of course he
oh
will.
yeah.
Oh, sure.
And I know that they did not know that that's what they were going to run into on this particular day. And sometimes it happens that way, but we're still going to be good friends, man. And it really brought us together. And I'm really happy that it happened. And, we don't have to hate each other. You don't have to agree on everything. And the thing is, like, no matter what you guys believe, please do not let it get in the way of your personal relationships, especially with your close loved ones, your family, your friends. I've done it, man. And
that's right.
When I was a baby truther, I would let it get to me, and I didn't talk to either of my parents for a long time because they just wouldn't open their eyes up to things that I could see.
Yeah.
But if we just have these conversations in a civil manner and understand that, you're not going to convince someone in one day, and they can, no matter what, they can still love you afterwards, and they probably won't even think you're crazy at that point if you keep it civil and you have a great conversation with them. And I just thought it was a hilarious story because we were just talking about it, and this all came to fruition like 10 minutes after we talked about how I was talking to all the scammers about flat Earth. So that's my life.
That's very, very cool. What a great story.
I took from that when I'm trying to talk to somebody about flat Earth, I need to call them a scammer 50 times in the middle of the conversation.
That's the moral of the story.
That really seemed to sink it in, you fucking scammer.
What is this?
That's awesome, dude.
Trying to solicit the globe on me.
I know. God.
That's
Well,
so
cool,
great,
man.
dude.
This was fun.
Awesome, man. Hopefully this is a first of many to come. I'm excited for the journey and to see.
Oh, this will be.
Don't use words like hopefully.
I think that we all are blessed and faithfully met each other, and this happened because
Yes, sir.
it was supposed to happen.
Indeed.
I feel that way for sure.
Station.
All right, guys. So I guess that is the first episode of the Phone Booth Podcast. We hope that everybody enjoyed it. We will have another episode out very soon, and we will have a guest on that show, but I'm not going to tell you who it is yet because I think it's too awesome to even give away yet. So,
Cheers.
everybody, I hope you had a good time. Anybody else have anything to say?
Nope.
Be excellent to each other, my bros.
I like it. Be excellent to each other.
Death.
Later, dudes.
See you guys later.